Right, this is beginning to get repetitive, very repetitive, like a Groundhog Day thing. Because on the 7th of September, the EDL are coming to Tower Hamlets again. Again! Why do they keep coming here? Are they like zombies drawn to the shopping centre in Romero's Dawn of the Dead? Who knows? But they are coming, and we'll be out to oppose them again. But they're never going to make it. They're never going to march here in Tower Hamlets. If they march here in Tower Hamlets, there'll be full-scale serious violence. And I'll explain why later on. Possibly they might march around the edge of Tower Hamlets. They might march, for example, down Mansell Street. They might go from Aldgate, which is in the city, to Mansell Street, which half of the street is in the city and the other half is in Tower Hamlets. And they might march them down to where the Tower of London is. It's all in a straight line. Over the bridge, into Bermondsey and gone. And then they could say that they've had a march through Tower Hamlets. Well, if they want to do that, good luck to them. Because there won't be anybody there. For two reasons. One, the area is completely sterile. It's full of offices and so on. They're going very near my estate, which pisses me off. And it's kind of personal, you know. Last time they were here, I couldn't even get onto my estate because the police had surrounded the area and were stopping people from coming in. And when I said, oh, I live here, I want to go home, it's all finished. Oh, can you prove you live here? Well, you know, when you go out and do something, you come back, you've got to be able to prove that you live somewhere. So I wasn't allowed onto my own estate. So that's what pisses me off. And the fact, you know, that those monkeys will be marching down near my estate, I feel it kind of personally, and it pisses me off. But it doesn't only piss me off, because we've been, and there's another thing as well, we won't even see the bastards, because we know that the police are going to put up screens and everything, and they'll probably block off all the streets, so you won't even get near the screens or anything like that. They'll create what is known as a sterile area. So I don't see what the point is of them coming. They're not going to actually be in Tower Hamlets, so they walk down half a street. And then when they get to the bridge, part of that's Tower Hamlets as well. A bit that goes into the Tower of London is actually Tower Hamlets. So if that's their victorious march through Tower Hamlets, I reckon it's a bit bloody sad, if you want my opinion. So what's the word from the streets? I can tell you what the word from the streets is. I mean, I'm not talking about the street gangs or anything like that. We're bound to be out, bound to have another truce, and, you know, probably end up clashing with the police rather than the EDL, which is a great pity. Because we'd all like to have well, I don't know, if the police went home and the EDL tried to march through, it'd be great. You know, they'd never come back again. There'd never be any more demonstrations of the EDL. You'd probably never hear of them again, because they would be thoroughly humiliated and trashed on the streets. I've been out, there's at least 3 groups as far as I know, going and giving out leaflets and propaganda and urging local people to come out on the streets and oppose them. Just bring your families, bring everybody, let's just fill the streets up so that if the police do decide suicidally to march them through the streets, they'll be facing 10,000 people blocking the streets so they can't get them through. But I don't think that even I don't think the police are that stupid. So they're going to have their sterile march, which they're welcome to. But at least they'll know that there's thousands of us out on the streets. And who are us? If you're from the EJ, you're probably, oh yeah, it'll be all those Asians or Pakis, as you call them, out on the streets. Well, actually, they're from Bangladesh, they're not from Pakistan at all. But, you know, you're a bit thick anyway, so that don't make any difference to you. I'm giving out leaflets in Watney Street Market, outside Whitechapel Tube and down Brick Lane very early on a Sunday morning. And for a week, we've been giving them out, and I've only had 2 people that have been personally hostile to me. One was someone that was so drunk and incoherent they couldn't stand up. Another one was some woman that was going, oh, well, we need some people like the EDL. I said, what for? And she just strolled on, not wishing to indulge in a conversation. All right, who's been taking the leaflets? Well, down Brick Lane, nearly everybody's been taking the leaflets because we go down there before the tourists. And I'm sorry, EDL, but the people that are taking the leaflets are old, white, working class cockneys, right? And they don't want you around here, and they're really pissed off, along with all the older Asian people and all the girls in headscarves and so on, and tight jeans, and all the boys, everybody, all the shopkeepers, all the stall holders, all the bums that hang around in the park. Nobody wants you. Can't you get it through your thick skulls that nobody wants you to come here? Nobody at all. Absolutely nobody. We've got troubles enough in Tower Hamlets as people keep reminding, well, what do we want? Why are they coming here? Like, haven't we got enough trouble? Seems to be what most people, that's what I say as well. Haven't we got enough trouble? We've got 24,000 people on the waiting list here in Tower Hamlets. They're building thousands of homes for yuppies and nothing for us. So if the EDL persist in coming, if they come in a couple of years' time, what you're going to see is like Aldgate, completely yuppie drones everywhere, and all the yuppies in their cocktail dresses, sipping their champagne, watching the apes from the EDL fighting the riot police, and watching us fighting the riot police, and we're both trying to get to each other, and they'll all be laughing their heads off, and well that they should. EDL, don't you realise that you're serving these people? You're dividing us. We can't fight the encroaching yuppiedom of London and the East End and everything if we're divided, and you're dividing us. But we know that you're dividing us, and that is where you're making your big mistake, because this, you coming, is the thing that does unite us and does bring us out onto the streets and does actually get us mixing and talking to each other and so on, which a lot of the time we do not do because we lead our sort of separate but fairly tolerant sort of existences with each other. So yeah, thanks for uniting us, because we couldn't do it with the anti-cuts things or anything else. But you come and have united us. You might just unite us for a day or so, and at least you will sow the seeds for us. And as for the mullahs that you're so worried about, the mullahs ain't going to be getting everybody out on the streets to attack you. The mullahs, as you call them, or the religious establishment of Tower Hamlets, particularly in the big mosques that you all seem to be crazy and want to walk by, the mullahs will be telling people to stay off the streets. They'll be telling the kids to stay in the mosque. Not that the kids ever go in the mosque anyway, but except for on certain occasions. They will be trying to control it. They will be trying to control it by telling their people not to come onto the streets, not to be provoked, not to get into fights and so on. Do not bring disgrace upon us and so on and so forth. Or, in other words, do not mix with the infidels as well, is the other thing. But they will not succeed. And so therefore, the mullahs, the people you see out on the streets, are not mobilised by the so-called mullahs. It's the people you don't see out on the streets that are mobilised by the mullahs. So all I can say, suckers, is just like the mullahs, you're just a bunch of control freaks. Why did he fuck off to Gibraltar or something like, and have a fight in Spain? We're going to have another little petty comic opera thing, a bit less serious than the Falklands, but we're sending a few gunboats to Gibraltar and so on. Doesn't that bring pride to your hearts, EDL? Doesn't it bring pride to your hearts that we've got a new royal baby that's going to be your king and everything in another 70 years' time or whatever it is? Yeah, you say fucking pathetic. You're not even worth beating up. You're not even worth attacking. You're just sad. Get a life. Keep out of Tower Hamlets. Keep away. Don't come here. But anyway, thanks for uniting us, suckers. That's all I've got to say about this. And when the event is over, I think I'll have plenty more to say about it as well. Bye.